Wait, did I start? I don't know how much got recorded just now of what I said. But I'm going to make this video talking about something very specific. This is something I was just thinking about. And I was like, yo, maybe I should make a video about it. Get some notes down. Because this is important information that I'm about to talk about. So, when we're talking about healthcare, it's actually a pretty simple subject. And before I dive into that, I'm going to say something that I just made up a little while ago. And it's strictly about healthcare. That if you can't take care of yourself, you're not prepared to do much else. It's really simple. But what I was thinking about is that we have all this technology and all this capability and preparation and all this potential to take care of everyone and help as many people as possible. And at first I thought about it like, oh, well, how many things could we cure, or how many, problems could we solve? But then I realized something a long time ago. It's stupid to try and cure everything. It's stupid to try to heal everyone and try to make the best hospitals and all these different things. It's so stupid that you can't even put it into words how dumb it is. I mean, look at reality. We spend all this time in school from the age of about 8 to 18. Some people a little younger, about 5 to 18. But most of us, the majority of us, spend that 12 years learning useless math, the most useless part of science. And we learn all this stuff that is only useful if you go off into a very specific field, or if you graduate and go to college. And then when you go to college, they reteach you most of it, so it really makes it even less of a useful thing than if you were to go straight into some type of training. But basically what I'm getting at here is that if we just took all that uselessness out and replaced it with some type of nursing or some of the fundamental understandings of things and ways to take care of yourself, a lot of health issues and problems and things that have happened wouldn't be happening to people on such a large scale. Like, there's a large portion of COVID that spread just from people not knowing how to actually wear a mask. There was people walking around, mask on, nose exposed. Now there's no real data to back that up, but I saw a lot of people walking around that way. But here's the thing, like, that wouldn't prevent COVID or anything like that. But it's just an example of how little people know about how to protect themselves or do medical things. There's other examples I could draw from. Like, when people get cuts, a lot of people don't know that you should put alcohol or try to remove air so that you don't get an infection. Like there's so many things that could be fundamentally taught to people the same way that you're learning Pythagorean theorem and completely wasting your time unless you go and do a bunch of computer science after high school. But it's like what I'm trying to get at, what I'm trying to articulate is the fact that most medical information is not rocket science. And most of the stuff that could improve the overall health of people in a country is pretty simple. It's like why don't a lot of people know more about cavities? Like there's things that you can feel in your mouth before you even have a cavity that will let you know like, oh, something might be messed up with my teeth. And the nurses and the dentists, at least, they all know about like the early signs of a cavity and stuff. But we're out here wasting time learning Pythagorean theorem. What does that sound? I guess something in the microwave. My brother. But anyways, there's all these things that we're learning, like Pythagorean theorem, square root, how to find the circumference of a circle, like all these things. And people don't even know that a lot of that stuff could help you if you're trying to like make a game. If you're trying to like build a table, right? Not even if you're trying to build a table, like if you're trying to build the actual parts to the table. But anyways, it's like you all have access to literally everything that will solve all of the problems and issues that people have in society, but you're not doing it, and most people are too ignorant to even realize, like, oh yeah, if everyone had a certain level of medical information given to them in public school, people would probably do better on tests and shit. Because there's a certain level of just understanding that you get when you know things like, oh, well, your blood cells do not move as quickly if you don't have water. That sounds really simple, but there's so much more connected to that one little thing. Like you'll understand more why you shouldn't run around while you're dehydrated. Right? Like it's just so many little things. And it's like people would rather have things be the way they are now so that people can make millions upon billions of dollars. That's it. When I'm talking about, that doesn't make billions of dollars, just millions. There is a way to make it make billions, but the way to make it make billions would literally be impossible. And I'm going to go into that a little bit. Let's say everyone had a room like what's behind these ladies right here, a room like this, set up in their house where they have some medical equipment. Right? Like, let's say if houses started being mandatory to be built like that, and then it was mandatory that in everyone's community there were some nurses that would be teaching kids, right? And it wouldn't be like, well, you know how you have a recreational center, right? Like, it would make sense if some nurses, if you happen to live in a neighborhood and these types of facilities exist in that neighborhood, that you could just be there and then like you'll get some of your taxes reduced or something if you log that you've been there and then you have proof, and then the person who you did whatever, a bit of teaching or whatever, mentoring, logged with you that they were there. And it's like there's just so many little things like what I just broke down that could exist in every community. Because the reality is that y'all have too much right now. And y'all are just doing fucking anything with all of it. There's too many people who don't actually give a shit about what they're doing. Just doing things. Like all this stuff with these doctors and people feeling on people, like why do they have enough time to sit down and be like, you know what? Titties, boom. Oh, look at that little wiener. Oops, stuff like what? Like what? What is going through the people's head making all these billions of dollars off of these people? It's like, do y'all not even care about it? It's like, there's a question directly to y'all. Do y'all not even care? Because then it would make more sense. They just don't care about the problems that come up within this medical field and other industries because y'all just have too much going on. You're out here trying to find cures to cancer, and you don't care how many kids died with chemo. Like you're out here trying to push this transgender thing. You don't care how many of the people are lied to and tricked into doing the transgender thing. But it's just like y'all are literally out here making yourselves look as if all you all care about is money. But maybe that's true, right? Like maybe what I'm talking about is a waste of time because all you guys care about is how much money you can make at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if everyone became healthier or had a better understanding of the medical field and how these things work so that they could then take care of themselves better and then go to their jobs better and then do all these other things better with their family and prepare for stuff better. Right? Like maybe none of that matters. Right? Maybe it is just money that matters. One day someone's gonna have $1 trillion and that's gonna be the goal until they move the amount a little higher to 10 trillion and then they just keep going up until they're at the quintillions and all of that. Because, oh yeah, y'all also want to increase the amount of people, which I could break that down really quick. It's actually retarded. Right? Y'all want to increase the amount of people in your population so that one day all you do is sell one $10 cup to 18 trillion people and then they all buy the $10 cup and then you make $1 billion off of one cup that you just came up with the idea with in like 10 seconds. Like that's what these people are trying to get to. Something that's impossible. Because by the time you get to all those trillions of people, everything that I'm just talking about, like people not knowing how to do certain things, not having the information, that garbage education isn't going to help these people get anywhere. Because here's the thing. If you didn't need so much money to live in a house and get food, then all of that other stuff, it would then be possible. But because you do, it's like nothing that y'all are trying to prepare your society for is even fucking possible. Like Elon wants to go to the moon or go to Mars. For what? So you could go there and then start firing people and have civil wars because they didn't agree with something and then have homeless people. Like it's like what do y'all expect to achieve on Mars? Because you can't achieve much. It's not an area like Earth. You can't just go there, live there automatically. Right? So there's gonna be struggles and stuff. Like, what if upon the journey, right, you're healthy, and then through the whole journey getting to Mars, you become unhealthy? Well, what are y'all gonna do with all those people who traveled to Mars healthy and got there unhealthy? Like, it's so dumb. Like how y'all think of shit in your current fucking just everyone. It's just so fucking dumb. But I'm off topic. Talk about Mars now. That's basically what I think about with the whole medical field. If y'all actually cared about healthcare for everyone, you would teach everyone to understand a certain level of taking care of themselves.